Am I going to play Stellar Blade in April? Unlikely. But we'll see. I'll leave it as a maybe, but it's unlikely. And I'm going to be honest with you. Would you really want to know the truth? Although the combat, I have looked a little bit into the combat, and it looks okay to me. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It looks decent. If I play Stellar Blade, 99% of the time I'm playing the game, people in the chat are going to be fucking immature shitheads about the character. Because the character was designed purposefully to be a sexualized character. The game dev has outright said it, and all the coverage you're seeing of the game online is just sexualized. Meaning, oh look, instead of show gameplay, let's have her walk up and down this ladder 10 times in a row to see her butt cheeks jiggle. Well, I don't fucking do that. I don't care about that, and I don't want my stream to be all about that. So I'm not going to fucking subject myself to that, when people will definitely be doing that in the chat. So I think I'm just going to skip it. You know, just being honest. I don't feel like I'm missing out too much anyway, because like of what I said, if this game did not have that woman as the protagonist, I don't think people would be talking about it like they are. I don't think people would even be that excited for it. I think it's a decent game when it comes to the gameplay elements, but people are loving the game and hyping it because they're perverts. They're over-sexualized people who are just about the fucking main character. They want to lust over her and fucking look at the butt cheeks jiggle, look at the boobs jiggle, and the devs say, oh yeah, I based her off of a model on purpose so that people would do this shit. Well, guess what? I'm not into that. Since that seems to be a major part of the game development cycle for this game and what was intended, and I don't care about that, I guess I'm skipping it. Oh well. If people would actually just be more mature, I probably wouldn't care. But I know literally the entire chat will just be like, oh my god, lusting over this woman constantly when I try to play the fucking game. So I'm just not going to bother with it. You know, I hate to say it, but that was one of the advantages back in the day of when I played a game like Bayonetta. I didn't live stream it. So I could just do the content, put it out, and yeah, people would be like that in the comments, but at least it didn't permeate the content when I was doing it live. You know, I love having an interactive audience. I feel like the interactive audience will be lost during a Stellar Blade playthrough because people won't be able to control themselves. And I know that sounds fucking sad, but I just think it's true. It's this thing about human society. Like, oh, a sexualized character, I can't control myself. Time to just fucking talk about it constantly, right? Prisoner says, is that how some people were acting when you played Nier Automata? Yeah, I would say this. With Nier Automata, it wasn't as bad. And it was bad, don't get me wrong. But I think the reason it wouldn't have been as bad is because the game was unique and had a crazy good story. Like, you think the game's going to be a game just a superficial combat with half-naked androids. But then as you're playing it, you realize the plot is super fucking good. It's deep, it's interesting, it's fourth wall breaking, and I'm so happy that people convinced me eventually to go back to that game. They're not going for that with Stellar Blade. They're not. They're just literally making a game with good action with an over-sexualized character. Did you know that the character has a skin suit? She has a skin-colored suit to wear to, again, make her look like she's nude. But the trick is, if you put it on, it makes the game harder. So in order to see her basically nearly naked, you have to basically play the hardest version of the game. Wow, this sounds like a game that's right up my alley, doesn't it? Right? That's what I'm all about. No, I'll tell you really, here's why Stellar Blade is getting the coverage it's getting. Because it's the anti-woke game. It's following all the tropes of games that used to be out in the 1990s. The original Lara Croft shit, right? So many games today have gone woke. Where, oh, the women, we're tired of them being over-sexualized. We're tired of them, you know, being portrayed in a certain way. And now we want to go, you know, this is a way that they're spitting right in the face of all of that, correct? Ha, fuck you. We could still have, you know, sexualized women in games, and that's fine, but it's just not going to be for everyone. Personally, I don't have any gripes with the combat engine or anything that they did with the gameplay elements, but I'm not interested in the sexualization of characters, so I'm not going to care about the game. I'm going to skip it. If you like that, go for it. That's on you, and you enjoy it. I'm not going to hate on you for liking Stellar Blade, but I want you to respect the decision that I'm going to make to not make it part of my streams and content, since that was a major focus of the game development cycle. They've outright said it, okay? But I think that's what it is. There so many games now that are going the other direction, you know, completely the other direction, and gamers are kind of riling against that. Like, no, actually, we liked how it was back in the day. It's good to have variety. It's good. In reality, it's good to have variety. It's good to have the option. If you like that, go for it. If you don't like that, don't go for it. There's something over here for you. There's stuff in between, and that's all perfectly fine, right? Variety is the spice of life. So if you like that stuff, go for it. I don't care about it though. DSP politics when? I know. It seems like every day something gets more political, right? Literally every day we have a more political discussion. It's unavoidable. It's unavoidable that eventually we're going to get there as I get older, right?